Good morning, students. Welcome back. Till now in this module, we introduced about infinite series and we learned how to test these infinite series with the help of Cauchy's nth root test and D'Alembert ratio test, whether the series is going to be converge or diverge. In this lecture, we are going to introduce about power series, and with the help of this power series, how we are going to get the solutions for special type of differential equations like Bessel equations and Legendre's equations. Particularly in this lecture, I am going to cover Bessel differential equation solution with the help of power series. Let's start. Generally, the solutions of ordinary differential equations are obtained in an explicit form called closed form of the solution. However, many differential equations arising in physical problems are linear but have variable coefficients and that do not permit general solutions in terms of noun functions. Let's try to understand this statement. So, as we learned in our second module, linear differential equations, we have LD with constant coefficients differential equations, LD with variable coefficients differential equations. So there also we learned these variable coefficient differential equations, we reduce it to LD with constant coefficients and we are able to solve it. But in general, many differential equations not possible to reduce the variable coefficients into linear differential equations with constant coefficients. In that case, it is easier to convenient and to find the solutions with the help of power series solutions. So the solution will be easy because once you know the series in the infinite form, so you can test whether the series is converging or diverging, right? So usually here all convergent series solutions we are going to get it in this particular special type of differential equations. So the series solutions of certain differential equations gives rise a special functions such as Bessel functions, Legendre's functions, Hermite, Chebyshev, Sturm-Liouville. There are many, all these are advanced topics. Particularly in our curriculum, we have Bessel functions and Legendre's polynomials. So Bessel functions are nothing but, now we are going to consider Bessel differential equation. Whatever we are going to get the solutions, those solutions we are calling as Bessel functions because these are the special functions which we may not find like our regular functions, trigonometry or algebraic functions. It is in the form of series functions, so that those we are calling as a special functions. Similarly, I am going to consider in our next class Legendre's differential equations. So that is also one type of special differential equations. We don't have direct solutions. These are variable coefficients. We can reduce that into constant coefficients and we can't get it general solutions. That's why this Legendre differential equation also, with the help of series solutions, we are going to get the solutions. Whatever we got the solutions, those solutions we are usually calling as Legendre's functions or Legendre's polynomials. Why we are calling as a polynomials? Because those functions are in terms of polynomials. So anyway, let's see for better understanding in deep details of this power series. I am considering the differential equation here. P naught of x d square y by dx square plus P1 of x dy by dx plus P2 of x into y is equal to 0. These P naught of x, P1 of x, P2 of x, all these are polynomials in x. It's not simply like what we learned Cauchy's LD variable coefficients like x square d square y by dx square plus x dy by dx plus as you know, into some q into y is equal to 0. Do you remember that? So it's not that much easy. Definitely these are certain polynomials will be existed here. So in that case, we are concentrating initially this polynomial p naught of x. If p naught of a is not equal to 0, means I am substituting in place of x some value at x equal to a in this polynomial at x equal to a. If I am not getting 0, then we can call it as ordinary point. Sometimes that name also called it as regular point. If it is equal to 0, when I substituted some value in place of x, okay, at x equal to a, this polynomial is going to be 0. In that case, I can call this as singular point. Is it clear? It's something like a root. We are taking some value and substituting in the polynomial. If it is equal to 0, then it is singular point, and if it is not equal to 0, then that will be simply ordinary point. Okay, so we are more concentrated on singular point. Again, singular points is of two types. One is regular singular point, another one is irregular singular point. Let us try to understand the regular singular point. First of all, at x equal to a, this p naught of a should be equal to 0. Then and only you can call it as a singular point. Okay. And then when I can call it as a regular singular point, if I write, if I divided p naught of x with these forms like x minus a as a factor. So if I divided it with this, so if we are able to write this in this form, means actually what is happening here, simply p1 of x by p naught of x, p2 of x by p naught of x. In that case, here this terms p1 naught x by p naught of x, this let you assume as some another function q1 of x by x minus a form, plus similarly this also some other function q2 of x by x minus a whole square form, if you are able to write in this way. So you try to understand here, this limit is not, we are going to get it some finite value at x equal to a. So these are not going to be 0. That is the only thing you should understand, right? So that's why q1 of x and q2 of x both possess the derivatives of neighborhood of a. So it is very simple. It should be singular point. When I substituted at x equal to a, the polynomial should be 0. At the same time, when I writing this p naught of x in this form, here these derivatives p1 of q1 of x, q2 of x should be exist. So in that case, those we can call it as a regular singular point. It should be singular and as well as it should be regular. Suppose sometimes what happened, when I taken that this side, it may become 0. So in that case, means which is not regular, that always you can call it as irregular singular points. Why you spend this much time on these definitions? Because for regular singular points only we have series solutions. Other than regular singular points, means irregular singular points, you don't have series solution. Now whatever now we are going to take Bessel differential equation, Legendre's differential equation, we are going to use these equations have regular singular points. At some point we are finding regular singular point, right? So how to get the solutions of what is the procedure to get the solutions for the differential equation in terms of series? So a German mathematician, Frobenius, okay, he is well known in the theory of matrix and group, but anyway, he introduced this particular series solution, right? So what he observed that when this type of differential equations which is having some variable coefficient differential equations which is not possible to get the general solution directly, then he assumed some solution initially. Let y is equal to x power m of with some series a0 plus a1x plus a2x square, which is a polynomial, right, plus anx to the power of nth order polynomial. So that is multiplied with x power m. So by assuming, and what he done in the procedure, by finding all these values a0, a1, a2 up to a and all these values, and again substituting back all these values, that will become the solution for this given differential equation, second order differential equation here. Okay, so anyway, so to do this, what he observed, he took this as a assumption. Okay, he assumed this as a solution, and what he done, this particular series, this way it is a power series, we have everywhere, we have power terms. So then we have y, then we will find dy by dx, d square by dx square. After differentiating, we will get it these two terms also. So with the help of all these two terms and substituting all these terms in this particular equation, given equation 1, we are by equating the lowest degree term equal to 0 in x, lowest degree term in x will be equal to 0. We are going to get it one equation in terms of some m here. Okay, so that is called indicial equation. Okay, you will be little bit confusion now. You don't worry about that, because you should know this process how we are going to solve our Bessel equation. Let you just wait some time. Okay, just you try to understood what I am doing here. I am assuming one power series as a solution for this differential equation, and simply I am finding y is already is there as a power series solution, and I am finding dy by dx for this, d square by dx square for this equation 2. Okay, so after that, in the third step, what I am doing, I am equating the lowest degree term, coefficient of the lowest degree term in x. Okay, that usually x power m will be the lowest degree term. So that is, we are equating to 0. From that we will get some equation which you can call it as an indicial equation. Okay, so that from that we will get the values of m. Okay, from that indicial equation, which is a quadratic equation, we will get two values. So based on these two values, the solution will be dependent as usual, right? So, and one more thing here, from that the remaining values also, because here a0 is already there. If I am able to write a1 in terms of a0, a2, a3, a4 all are in terms of a0, then I can take a0 as a common. So that solutions will be very easy. So while writing so that we have to find a1, a2 up to an all are by equating the higher order terms, similar like previous step. So, and we are writing all in terms of a0, that will be easy for us to get the solution. Okay, so this is simply a procedure, Frobenius procedure. But you see, here our aim is to get the solution for our Bessel differential equation. So we are going to apply this Bessel differential on the Bessel differential equation with the help of this Frobenius this power series method, Frobenius power series method. We are going to get the solution. So let's start here. So this is our Bessel differential equation. Very important, you have to remember and better to by heart it. X square d square y by dx square plus x dy by dx plus x square minus n square into y is equal to 0. So we are just started now only. This is very important, and for the VT examination point of view, also for the end examination compulsory damn sure question, we have derivation. So you should remember this this entire derivation. Once I will explain you how to do it on your own again and again to get nicely how to write it up. Right. So this is equation which is involving some applications like heat conduction, cylindrical regions gives rise to this particular differential equation. Not only there may be some electrical related applications. You please try to get it these applications by searching in Google. But anyway, here our aim is we are trying to get the series solution for this Bessel differential equation. So I wrote it here, differential equation of order n. You may be people think that it is a second order differential equation, how it will be order of n. So here I am talking about this x square minus n square. So this depending on this order we have the solutions for this. It different from our regular order of our differential equation. Anyway, so once we got the particular solutions for this differential equation, those we will call it as Bessel functions. As I told you, these are we are going to call it as Bessel functions. Now, how to get the solution? What is your first step? As per your Fibonacci method, we have to take y is equal to x power m of this polynomial. So x power m I am multiplying here so that I got this. A0 x power m plus a1 x power m plus 1 plus a2 x power m plus 2 like that. So this is your assumption solution for this Bessel differential equation. So after assuming you have to get the values of a1, a2, all these values in terms of a0. So a0 you can consider as some single arbitrary constant. So that will be easy. You can write it up into the series solution. So anyway, check it. So once we have y, I can find dy by dx. Just it is something like x to the power of n. What is the derivative of x to the power of n? N into x to the power of n minus 1. Same thing I am doing. Each term I am doing differentiation. So this m comes to front side. M a0 x to the power of m minus 1 plus here m plus 1 will be, you have to write it here. M plus 1 a1 x to the power of m plus and so on. When I did this is m plus 2 a2 x to the power of m plus 1. Just I am doing differentiation. Again this equation I am going to differentiate to get d square y by dx square. Why I am finding all this? Once I got it, so this is also you check it d square. So one more time. This is derivative of m a0 x to the power of m minus 1 means this m minus 1 come front side, m into m minus 1 a0, one power should be reduced so that x to the power of m minus 2, isn't it? So like we just try to do up to 3 terms, right? So now we have y dy by dx d square y by dx square. We have the equation here. We are going to substitute in this equation number 1. So I am putting all these values in this equation. So what I am getting here, x square of this d square y by dx square value plus x of this is dy by dx value plus x square minus n square, this is y value, our assumed solution value. So now we have to get your initial equation. To get your initial equation, what we should do it? Equate to 0 the lowest degree term in x. So means here you see x square when I multiplied here x to the power of m minus 2 plus 2 will be gets cancelled. What will be the lowest degree term here? So this is your m into m minus 1 a0 up to this. The coefficients we have to take it and equal to 0. Only coefficients you should consider here. So when I multiply this x power 1 to inside, minus 1 plus 1 will be gets. So we have x power m here. So what is the coefficient here? Plus m a0, isn't it? And then here x square, if I multiply with this term, then a0 x to the power of m plus 2, that is not required, minus n square a0 x to the power of m. We have to take coefficient of x to the power of m because it is the lowest degree term, that is minus n square a0 which is equal to 0. So in all the terms a0, we can take it as a common, which should not be equal to 0 because we are solving for m. So m into m minus 1 of m minus n square is equal to 0. After taking a0, that goes to on the other side, that will become 0. Okay, means that other right hand side will becomes 0 by a0 value, that will be 0. So m square minus n square equal to 0 means m is equal to plus or minus n. So we got two values for m, right? So this you keep in mind, these values we are going to utilize. So similarly, we are taking the lowest degree terms. Now we are taking x to the power of m. Next time I will take x to the power of m plus 1. Okay, so if I am taking x to the power of m plus 1 and their coefficients and we are equating to 0, similar way what I explained now, in the same way if you go ahead, then here we got in terms of we are getting here a1 as a common, and already you know m having some values, so you fixed m value some values, so that all these values it goes to another side, a1 is equal to 0 here. Okay, so similarly we'll take the coefficient of x to the power of m plus 2. When you are comparing all these values and equating to 0, then what you got it here, what we have, as I said, we can take a2 as a common from these first three terms, and plus a0 which is equal to 0. So always I told you better to write all terms a1, a2, a3 up to an in terms of a0, so that here I am writing a2 is equal to minus a0 by m plus 2 whole square minus n square. a1 also, if you are not getting, here we got 0. If you are not getting 0, a1 also you should write in terms of a0 only. a1 also you should write in terms of a0 only. Right. So similarly, you can go for x to the power of m plus 3. When I took that equation, then we will get a3 is 0. As you are observed, a1, a3 up to a5, all these odd values are going to become 0 in this particular Bessel series. You just find out a1 and a3, and the remaining is very clear, it is going to be 0. Okay, you just write down like that. But better to find a4, okay, by comparing with your terms. Please compare and you get a4 in terms of initially a2. Again a2 is in terms of a0. So this is a2 in terms of a0. So again you write down that. Why I am writing? All these values a1 to an, all the values you try to write in terms of a1 only. Sorry, a0. Right? So of course here a1, a3, a5 all are 0. We need not to write it up. But a4 you should write in terms of a0. Now when I substituted all these values in equation, in this solution, assumed solution, where is that? Here, this is your assumed solution. Okay, in place of a1, of course a1, all these values will become 0. a1, a3, a5, all the values are 0. So the remaining a2, a4 values are there. So those values you find it out. We just substitute. In all the terms a0 will come as a common. So a0 x to the power of m of this particular series is the solution for your. We can't conclude now. The reason is, as I said, our solutions are not known functions, so you should represent, usually these functions will come as an integral form, so that again we will link this with your gamma functions. So let us see. So here only one arbitrary constant is there. If you are assume some value for this arbitrary constant, then because it's an arbitrary constant, we can choose any value here. So I am choosing, be careful here, I am choosing this value as 1 by 2 to the power of n gamma of n plus 1. So you may have doubt, sir, why you choose only this value? Why can't you choose some other values? See, as I said, these functions are not coming like our regular functions, so which having some integral form, indefinite integral forms. As you know, in our previous semester, gamma beta functions are, we introduced it to evaluate our improper integrals, right? So, and to simplify this particular series also, inside series, this particular a0 value will help us. Okay, so let us check how it helps us. Anyway, you have to remember a0 value is 1 by 2 to the power of n gamma n plus 1. It is not root, it is gamma n plus 1. Okay, so when I taken in place of that, then y0 value. Okay, so this is your y value. Okay, so I am taking y0 means some particular value, isn't it? So y0 is equal to at a0 is this value. So then 1 by 2 to the power of n gamma n plus 1 just I am taking, and see, when I multiplied this gamma n plus 1 to inside, okay, what is going to happen? So see here, x to the power of n, 2 to the power of n, that is x by 2 whole to the power of n I returned. This particular term gamma n plus 1 I took into inside, multiplied, so that I got this first term here. As you remember, n plus 1 into gamma n plus 1 property, that is gamma n plus 2. Okay, so then similarly this is just we have x square by 2 square, that we can write it up as x by 2 whole square. Here x to the power of 4 by here 2 to the power, see here what we have, the once something will be gets cancelled, and see here when I multiplied this into this side, so how you got gamma n plus 3? Gamma n plus 3 is nothing but what? N plus 2 factorial. Do you remember n plus 2 factorial? Okay, so that's why we'll write the remaining terms as n plus 2 factorial. So that will be gamma n plus 3. Okay, and see, if you see gamma n plus 1, gamma n plus 2, like gamma n plus 3, it is increasing like that. Here we are getting the factorial also. Okay, so in general, if I taking this whole thing into consideration, of course this is there, this term will be multiplied for whole thing, that is x by 2 whole to the power of n. R is equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 whole to the power of r. This is in general 1 by r factorial. Here it is 2 factorial. If we go to the third term, we will get 3 factorial, like that. So 1 by r factorial gamma of n plus r plus 1. So if you see here r value will be, this is r factorial means 2 factorial. Here I can write n plus 2 plus 1. That's why here n plus r plus 1 I can write in this form, right? And then x by 2 whole to the power of n plus 2r. So how you got this 2r here? If you see this power, where power is going, see a 2 here, then this will be r, this will be 2 into r value here 1. What I am trying to tell you here, if I continue this for some rth term, okay, r is equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 whole to the power of r. So 1 by, I am taking rth term here, please remember, 1 by r factorial. Okay, so gamma of n plus r plus 1, because this is 2 factorial means here n plus 3 means plus 1 will be there. Clear? Then here x by 2, so n plus 2r form will be there. So everywhere that 2r is going to be add for this. So already we have x by 2 outside, right? Here x by 2 whole to the power of 2r will be there. X by 2 which is the base, so that we can add the power, that is n plus 2r. So this whole thing summation r is equal to 0 to infinity minus 1 whole to the power of r 1 by r factorial gamma of n plus r plus 1 x by 2 whole to the power of n plus 2r. This is called your Bessel function. The Bessel function which we are representing as Jn of x. Okay, Jn of x. So this whole thing we are taken when m is equal to n. That's why I substituted here n, a naught value. Okay, so in all these places in the solution y is equal to, this is the general solution. When I taken y naught in place of m, here I consider n. M is equal to n I consider, we got this. So suppose if you take n, m is equal to minus n, only simply replace wherever n is there in that place, simply replace with minus n. So we will get j minus n of x. This is also when we have negative value for m, we will get the Bessel function. So both these we can call it as the together, as you know, while writing your solution for differential equation, we should have arbitrary constants. Okay, this is different one, right? In the series we got the arbitrary constant. Here in differential equation we have arbitrary constant. Y is equal to c1 jn of x plus c2 j minus n of x. I think you understood c1 y1. So means this is first one. Let you assume this is y1, and we are going to get it c2 j minus n of x, that y2 also y1 means j n of x, y2 means here j minus n of x. So both the values will write, that will be your solution. Okay, and these are called Bessel functions, already I defined above, right? And these are, we can call it as first kind of Bessel solutions, right? Sometimes when roots are equal, okay, so in that case we will get the second kind of solution that we don't have in our curriculum. Okay, so but you please go through this derivation. This derivation is very, very important, so that once you're comfortable with the derivation, if you have any doubts, you please ask me for in the tomorrow's class. Okay, so that I can